It is the last Monday in the month of July 2020, and of course, it is the discussion segment of the Morning Spice right here on Flow 94.9 FM. This is the platform. It is the pinnacle of all discussions. We take a critical look at issues as it affect our dear nation, Nigeria. Welcome once again. It's the 27th day in the month of July 2020. My name is Michael Oni. Now, this morning, we are taking a look at the oversight functions of the legislative arm of the government, how they turned out to be at the accused. Of course, you've seen so much lately, the arm twisting of the oversight function of the NDDC versus the National Assembly. These are not the best of times for the Buhari administration and its image minders when Nigerians expect firm and decisive steps. What they see or perceive are tentative actions bordering on lack of capacity and inability to rein in desperate interest of politicians. And after various allegations against the interim managers of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, on one hand, and the counter allegations against the members of the National Assembly on the other hand, Nigerians who have been fed with absurd tales may have to wait longer than they expect to know the real truth. Recall that the Professor Daniel Pondai-led Interim Management Committee of the Niger Delta Development Commission has appeared before Senator Peter Nwabuchi-led Senate Committee on the Niger Delta Affairs on different occasions. His name has been mentioned anyways, just yesterday by Senator from Akwa Ibom State, now a minister on the same Niger Delta Affairs. Well, the same IMC is having a running battle with the Honorable Olubumi Tunji Ojo-led House of Representatives Committee on Niger Delta Affairs, seeking to open the same books already scrutinized by the other chamber of the National Assembly. Why are our lawmakers so wasteful and unserious? This is the second time a probe has been done in that same Niger Delta Development Commission. First, the one with the Senate, and the other one by the House of Representatives, the latest one now. While some Nigerians are already swayed by the emotion of the multi-billion naira fraud against the NDDC, most discerning people are asking pertinent questions. What does the law say about the relationship between the agency of government and the legislative committee, which oversights the former? And how does one know the boundary between the truth of a matter and the fallacy of it? It is noteworthy that the word oversight is not in the Nigerian constitution. However, under the doctrine of the separation of powers, legislative oversight of an executive has become a norm. Separation of powers splits the judicial, legislative, and executive powers of government into three independent branches, in the belief that vesting all these powers in one organ may breed absolute tyranny. In spite of the separation clause, the possibility of abuse is still quite high. Therefore, the power of oversight is one of the checks and balances of this system to curb corruption, which is vested in the legislative arm of the government. But we're taking a look at that oversight function this morning, how the legislators themselves, how they turned out to be the accused. Of course, we will be speaking to our resource persons this morning. The latest now is that the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, has linked some members of the National Assembly to some contracts awarded by the Niger Delta Development Commission. Senator Akpabio, however, did not state if the lawmakers were directly awarded the contract or denominated the projects under their zonal intervention projects. Well, today on the platform, we want to evaluate our lawmakers' performance in their legislative oversight. It beats our imagination how government officials, in turn, accuse our lawmakers of complicity when they turn their searchlights on activities of any government agency. Has legislative oversight, become an instrument of witch hunt, or are politicians deliberately diverting attention from the real issues? Who really watches the watchdog? Well, that's a very huge question we will be providing answer to this morning. Chief Rafebu, the former SSG, that's the Secretary to the State Government to Abia State, returns to the platform, while on the flip side, we shall hear from the Publicity Secretary of Ebonyi State, APC, Onwo Bachika. So get on board. It's going to be a very interesting conversation this morning on the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM. All right, we have joining us this morning, beginning the conversation with Chief Raf Egbu. He's a regular on the program, former SSG to the Abia State Government. Chief, good morning to you.
Mike, lovely, my good voice on radio. How are you?
I'm fine.
Audience and other listeners.
I'm fine.
Thank you very much.
Good to hear your voice this morning. You would agree with us that the oversight functions of the legislature makes for checks and balances. But going back to twist of events lately, Chief, the question is whether we are on course.
Well, generally, we are not on course. It's not about, I hope you can trust my kind of analysis. It's not a question of being on course. It's a question of doing right things.
Okay.
We are reacting now because, and I call it endpoint reaction. And why do I call it endpoint reaction? It's because we have created a practice in this country where we leave things that we are supposed to do. And we'll always dwell on those things we are not supposed to do. We like tokenism. So everybody is talking now about National Assembly being accused or not being accused, trying to create confusion over a system malfunction. If you bring it to the NDDC, I want to say it straight ahead. It's not a question of failure or no failure of oversight function. That is important. It's a question of what ought to have been done straight away. First is that we have started in the last maybe 30 years creating a new Nigerian that does not thrive on value. The supernatural cultural structure is beginning to take a nosedive. Vices are becoming the norm daily. Otherwise, why will you put a distinguished professor on a correctional assignment and then he turns out to be the worst, even in less a month, than the original problem? You can also talk of issue of mediocrity and vision. I have said it. We are now beginning to limit talking about oversight, the legislator, Wabusi and no Wabusi, Akpabio. Those are not the issue. It wasn't an interventionist agency that developed Abuja or Lagos or Kaduna or Kano. Development of the region that provides money for this country we ought to know that ab initio, from the time of we found oil and it became the mainstay of our nation, it ought to be very certain that the development ought to be the federal government affair on the clear Marshall Plan with clear vision, segmented, health. What do you want to do about human power development? What do you want to do about their health? What do you want to do about their roads? But because there is no vision, one man from anywhere will be appointed by somebody else from nowhere. And then he comes there and then he marks 9 roads, all of them without standard.
Okay, Chief, I want us to beam our light on the National Assembly today in the name of oversight functions. Now, they've also been indicted in this scandal rocking the Niger Delta Development Commission. We already had an investigative hearing from the Red Chamber of the National Assembly. The latest one is the Green Chambers.
Yes.
Yes,
I am not limiting because I am a player and I know what is wrong in the system. I don't like picking what is not wrong.
Okay.
Why I say I won't limit, listen to me. Why I said I won't limit, whether they have become this and that. Giving them contract is not the issue. It is who you nominate, the leadership recruitment process into the interventionist agency. Somebody was supposed to be there. Giving them jobs is wrong. Who gave them the job? Under what influence did you give them the job? That is what I'm saying. And that was the point I was coming to make. I'm saying if we are serious, and this thing is a serious job, okay, let's come down to the recent. I don't want to go to where governors were nominating cronies and using it to pay political compensations and giving this and money is going out. Will you show those ones who are right, giving contracts to those who are not contractors, giving contracts outside the NDDC areas? So I like taking things from the root so that we solve it. The problem is, look at IMC. What do you call it?
Interim Management
Uh-huh.
Committee.
Somebody came from nowhere. It is unknown. A total extrapolation outside the legal laws establishing NDC. Somebody came up, then you dissolved it. For instance, as we are talking, Aja has no representative. You took 30% initially, you now extended it to 5. NDC states are 9. Then, on what criteria did you? I know some of those people. I don't want to be. I know some of those people you want to defend that are giving you flying documents. Calling the National Assembly is not an issue. It is who is manning that place. And if you are manning it, what is your job description? What are you supposed to do? Why do you go strenuous and then you want us to divert our attention for me to begin to talk of you one illegality or not, and people sidetracking their responsibilities? Somebody created IMO from wherever it came, whether it came from the presidency, whether it came from the governors of the state, whether it came from, certainly it didn't come from the people, even going by the law establishing that place. It is wrong. Now, suddenly, the correctional people, IMC, have informed us wanting to spend even bigger and far worse than the this. So it's not only oversight. I'm saying that the leadership recruitment process, if it had been properly done, and you select men, they are men of honor in a society that is going banal every day. Some of these things are self-rectifying. I was listening to Peter Obi this morning, and he was saying you can solve corruption very easily. And I said, how? He said, for instance, you want to develop school. Why don't you form local committees and then send the money directly to them than sending roadblocks? This place is supposed, NGT is supposed to have a board. How do you select the board? We know. Nobody is talking about that. So if they gave contract to legislators, who gave them? Was it right? Why didn't they say it had an issue? Why didn't you put men of character that could say no? Now we are diverting attention. Tomorrow another board will be appointed the same way, and the same influence will be exacted. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying that if the team in the board is properly selected and the vision is clear and the processes are clear, it makes oversight function what it should be. Oversight function is not a punishment. It's just to ascertain, say, tell me this is the vision. How did you run this? We gave you so money.
Okay.
So if both of them went into a terrible aberration, bordering on a little bit of criminality, we will catch everybody. Don't come and declare my sense of judgment.
Just a moment, Chief Raf.
You gave legislators. Who gave them?
Just a moment now. It appears we are running in cycles now. Who watches the watchdog?
That's what I'm saying. Watching is subsidiary. It's supplementary. I insist that watching is good, but it's a subsidiary action. Are you hearing me?
I'm getting you.
Now, if the president is serious, Obi spoke my mind this morning. He said the buck should stop in the office of the governor. It should stop in the office or on the table, on the desk of the
on the desk of the president. If it's
now, I'm giving an example.
Okay.
Across.
Okay.
A governor, a president should be able to know what is happening in any of his parastatals. He should be able to caution. If you give them money, 100 million, you should be able to ask them, send me copies of how you want to spend it. The presidency should be able to have departments and personal assistants that are so capable and honest report. Men and women. The problem is that I don't want to mention, but now I will be forced to mention. Until we deal with the structure of our character and value system that is degenerating, deal with this issue of autism. We see it. You recruit people there, they will multiply themselves, and then all these issues. Who should be checking who? Because every act of taking money and subverting the system and destroying people's lives.
Now that multiplication effect, who checks that? That's where I want to anchor the discussion on this morning.
Let it start. I'm not playing the role of the legislators. Very important. But I'm saying that they didn't create them there to come and stand on their neck every night. Let's start. Let the man that has responsibility do his duty. That is what I'm saying. And I'm giving you an example now. I'm mentioning myself. If you make me a chief executive, I will employ people that I can vouch for. That's what I'm saying. And we are many. It is time we end cronyism. It is time we end nepotism. It is time we end this system of this surrogate system where chief executives put people just because they want to teleguide them to react in a certain manner. That is the root. National Assembly is to come and State Assembly and then in a fancy way seek to collaborate. If you know it's wrong, you have a chief executive that knows the House of legislators are not contractors, and you say sorry. What you want, we may not be able to do it because there's a standard procedure for contract something. It will work out. It will work out and make the process less cumbersome. All this speaking tokenism, House of Assembly, National Assembly, they are falling as well. There is a man you put there, they won't come and ask that question because they will know automatically it's wrong. People, leaders, nominees that are ready to make sacrifice, for whom position is service, is not for self-aggrandizement. They are ready to abandon you there and make everything known. So I think the area will begin to put the blame where it is. The blame should be, we are talking of Niger Delta. Let the president, now that we have gone from the PDP area when governors were also nominated, let the president put his hand on the handle. Because it's not only NDDC. We are talking of National East, North-East Commission now. We are talking of NMP. Let who we have elected to this show capacity in controlling the subsystem. That is how it will work. I don't want to dance into this. You come, it's National Assembly, you give them contract. Who gave them contract? Was it right? Are they contractors?
Okay, just before I let you go this morning, Chief Rafegu, alleged corruption of corruption of our lawmakers. Now, I want you to react to that. Should they not face trial?
Let the man, whoever is alleging, should prove.
They've been indicted now in this crisis rocking the Niger Delta Development Commission.
Nobody was indicted. I learned when he was talking that the chairman that recused himself, they didn't give him contract. So I don't know why they insisted he must go. I watched the proceeding because I'm from Niger Delta and it was of my interest to exactly see. When Akpabio said, Ojo, whoever of the house, he said, I don't know. They didn't give me another point. Why? He said, we didn't give. Even to the 9th Assembly, we didn't give. No, but true.
He mentioned some name already. Put those names in the public, like Senator Peter Nwambuchi.
If it is correct, yes. If any of them is found wanting, they went there. It's a compromise of interest. We should punish them naturally. It's an aberration. If anyone is found, that is one way also of keeping. The laws are there. If people misbehave and then do away with public interest, I mean, there should be deterrent measure. And one of the deterrent measures is that people should be seen to be punished. I support that. But now telling me that because you gave a contract to National Assembly, then you too will go on a spending binge, and I will support it. I mean, when you are the one that should have the control. And let me quickly steal in this before we go. It's not a question of just National Assembly.
Okay.
Buhari should take back the control of NDDC to the presidency. That was the vision. It was supposed to do a special thing. It's just because the North wanted to water that. They should take it back. Dissolve this IMC with immediate effect. Take back control to the presidency. And then seize that situation we saw in the past, where the office of the SSG was now marketing. Let them select people in consultation with the governor, select with the consultation with all unions in the all proceedings area. Let's for once begin to lift the banner of credibility. For Christ's sake, there are people who will serve. They will see those billions and they won't touch kobo, except their duly approved allowances. And why do you sidetrack them? The system is so. That's why I'm talking about superstructure. It's a top notch. Part of those you send to NAS, with every respect, is it not part of the problem?
Now it seems it is very difficult to get that saint that will ensure that monies are judiciously used in quarters like the NDDC.
I have given you a simple solution. I say let's become serious with the official recruitment process.
Okay.
I want to say leadership. I say let's become serious. For once, let's leave the trajectory that courts will continue to recruit thieves to serve their purposes. That is what is happening there.
All right, Chief Rafegu, I want to really thank you for your time this morning and your analysis on the platform on Flow 94.9 FM.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
All right, there you have Chief's opinion concerning the latest, especially as we're taking a look at the oversight functions of the National Assembly. Of course, Chief Rav spoke extensively concerning the subject matter. Chief Rafegu is the former SSG, that's the secretary to the state government to Abia State. and of course, a public affairs analyst. It is the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. Now, let's take a look at some relevant portions of the 1999 Constitution as amended, Section 88 and Section 89. Section 88 says each house of the National Assembly has the power to investigate A. Any matter in respect of which it has the power to make laws, and B. the conduct of any parastatal or official responsible for administering any act of the National Assembly or in charge of disbursing funds. The section then says that the power to investigate is only exercisable for the purpose of enabling it, that is the Senate or House of Representatives, to A. make laws on any matter within its legislative competence and correct defects in existing laws, and B. expose corruption, inefficiency, or waste in the execution or administration of laws. Section 89 of that particular part of the Constitution says, as it relates to the power to investigate, that lawmakers also have the power to procure evidence, require the evidence to be given on oath, summon anyone to give evidence or produce documents, and issue a warrant to compel the attendance of any such witness. Now, I have joining me this morning on the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the Publicity Secretary of the Ebonyi State All Progressives Congress, Onwalba Chika. Glad to have you join us. You're live on Flow 94.9 FM, Umar here in Abia State. And my name is Michael. Good morning to you, Mr. Chika.
Good morning, Michael.
All right.
How was the night?
Wonderful. Now, what do you make of the probe and the oversight activities of the National Assembly in recent times?
All right. I thank you first and foremost for giving me the opportunity to talk to Nigerians and the good people of and our stakeholders. So it is a very good one, having the members of the National Assembly carrying out their oversight functions in a most transparent manner. So, but there is one thing that I would like them to take cognizance of. That thing is the fact that as they are probing the executive, they say that to come to equity, one has to have his or her hands clean. So they should not try to subvert every approach at investigating themselves, because they also have skeletons under their cupboards. So they should, as they try to investigate federal government ministries and allied agencies, so they should do that with utmost sense of transparency. So the NDDC, the other day we had them investigating the activities of the NDDC. So it was a very nice outing. But in that in that probe, you could see that the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, His Excellency Godswill Akpabio, pointed out that most of the contracts, or some of the contracts in the NDDC, were being or are being handled by by members of the National Assembly. So we could also see some of the National Assembly members in that committee trying to cover up, trying to tell the minister not to go ahead with such revelation. So it is very bad. So for you to probe others, you must have to be genuine. You must have to have your activities genuine. So you don't have to call another a thief when yourself have stolen much. So the probe is a very nice one.
Okay, Mr. Chika, don't you think these are not the best of times for the Buhari administration in terms of fight against corruption?
I didn't get you well.
I'm saying, don't you think that these are not the best of times for the Buhari's administration in terms of a fight against corruption?
Then, if you say this shouldn't be the best of times, I think which other time would you are you expecting a fight against corruption to come up? So this is the very best time.
Critics are saying that the president is losing the battle against the fight.
It's not losing. It's not losing anything. It's not losing anything. We have the FCC has so far recovered meaningful amount of money, to the treasury of this country. So the president or the federal government is not missing any fight against corruption. So it is a gradual to ensure. So we have a president to give him all the necessary support he has. He needs to ensure that these fights again are achieved. Meaningful results are achieved. So there couldn't have been any better than this to.
Hello, Mr. Chika.
I can tell you,
okay.
Apart from the fact that I'm a member of the APC, so the federal government has achieved much in ensuring that corruption is raised.
Now, hello, Mr. Chika. Can you hear me? Okay, I think we will get back to him. He was trying to make some points concerning Buhari's administration's fight against corruption. We're yet to conclude that conversation with Mr. Chika. We'll get back to him, as I would like to ask him, in the case of Magu, what can we say? With some persons are saying it's a case of looted funds being relooted now, but it is still the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the Flow of God's Own State, Monday edition. I think we have Mr. Chika back. Can you hear me, Mr. Chika?
I can now.
Okay, great. Now, just before we lost the connection, you mentioned that the president is not losing the fight against corruption, but in the case of the suspended chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, some persons are saying it's a case of looted funds being relooted now. Someone that is being trusted by Mr. President, he left him there even in acting capacity despite opposition by the 8th National Assembly. What do you make of that?
Done?
Hello,
are you done?
Yes. What do you make of that?
All right. I think we have to give into this case of Magu and his activities in the fight against corruption. We have to give it to the president. It could only have.
We're having serious issues with the network this morning. We will try and get back to him. He was trying to make some points there. But let's throw the lines open. Let's hear from you. What do you make of the oversight functions of our lawmakers, especially as things appear to have turned out to be how they turned out to be the accused now? Looking at the latest naming, some persons will say there was a naming ceremony. Well, you can tell me that way, but it is not the naming ceremony that it's very popular. But the recent one, some names are now in public, courtesy of the Senator Agatula Kwabio, the former governor of Akwa Ibom State. What do you make of what is happening now, especially the oversight functions of the National Assembly? 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. I think we have Mr. Chika back online now. Hello, Mr. Chika, can you hear me now? I think we have Mr. Chika back. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
Welcome back now. Just quickly, how can we also monitor the activities of our lawmakers as well?
Yes, as citizens, we have to monitor the activities of our lawmakers by getting them to answer certain questions thrown at them in the probe of the NDDC. You could find Akpabio. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
So you could get Akpabio pointing at the fact that most of the projects in the NDDC were or are being handled by the members of the National Assembly. You also saw how the the National Assembly members who were probing the NDDC, how they were trying to cover up. So Nigerians now should rise to the challenge of asking members of this National Assembly who are now probing others, their activities, their meddlesome activities in the affairs of some ministries, agencies, and parastatals. So the National Assembly members should also be careful about how they meddle into the financial records or the activities of these agencies. So just as I was listening to the Speaker of the House of Reps trying to lambast Akpabio or giving him ultimatum. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go on, please.
So, or giving him an ultimatum to come up with the names of those he accused of the members of the National Assembly he accused of getting contracts, from the or with the NDDC. So Akpabio has now come up with the names. I don't know what the speaker will make out of these names now. So we have to be monitoring the activities of these National Assembly members because they wield so much influence in government. So they are the government. They themselves are the government. So they don't have to continue to cast aspersions on the members of the executive as if themselves are sinners, so to say, or are innocent over the accusations. So we have to be asking, what do they do with the funds released to them, as constituency project funds?
Okay.
So,
Okay, Mr. Chika, I'm afraid that we have to let you go now. Thank you very much for your analysis this morning, Mr. Onwalba Chika.
I appreciate. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Mr. Chika is the Publicity Secretary of Ebonyi State APC. That's the All Progressives Congress. Now let's head straight to the phone lines. The lines are very much open. 0808 182 6949 or 0811 605 2949. You can also drop messages on 0906 510 8289, both the regular SMS and also WhatsApp messages. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mike. I'm Victor Ndovoka. I'm calling from Ameki.
You're welcome, Mr. Victor.
Thank you. Nigeria is practicing a presidential system which we borrowed from America. And in a presidential system, there is separation of powers. And one of the important functions of the legislature, the checks and balances, that's oversight function. And then when the legislature is doing that, it makes the government to speak up. But what we have found in a corrupt Nigeria today is that you now use power to corrupt power. When the members of the legislature who see themselves as doing oversight functions are doing their job, and that appointees government who are on the executive side, they collaborate with each other to embezzle funds, which is meant to be used to develop the country. I am so ashamed of Nigeria, being Nigerian, because when I look at the level of corruption and insensitivity among our leaders, I begin to look for Nigerians. In fact, Nigeria as it is today needs a total overhaul, both in terms of constitution. Look at the institutions are not functional. If you look at the legislature, it is not functional. The manner of appointment of even the heads of the legislature and the electoral process, everything is in shambles. Nigeria needs a total overhaul.
All right, quickly wrap up with that, Mr. Victor. Thank you. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to the platform.
Good morning, Michael.
You're welcome.
good statement that you comment on.
All right.
It's something for some time I started to involve myself in this kind of things, this kind of issue or topic we are discussing this morning. You know, when you look at what is happening in the country today, you find out that why some certain part of the nation is crying for restructuring. Until this country is restructured, until our constitution is revisited, things will continue to go this way. I keep telling people that when they talk about corruption that behead Nigeria, the kind of corruption we are seeing today and we are experiencing today in the hands of people that have told us that are fighting corruption is nothing to be compared in the history of Nigeria. Some country have been doing in the creation of this country. Look at what Abadi is saying. Is it the people that is fighting corruption? This case is pending somehow. And these are the people that told them if you are in APC, your sins have been forgiven. I remember before now, Akpabio was leveled against allegation of 108 billion naira before he joined APC. And Osumo came during his campaign and told the whole world that if you are in their party, your sins are forgiven. So how are they going to fight corruption that has bewitched this country? You talk about the lawmakers. Lawmakers, they have majority part. Look at the railway issue, the loan that they approved. I believe that the PDP and Southeast lawmakers they stood against it. But unfortunately, in the National Assembly, the majority will always take it. And because they are majority, they pass the law, whether it favor the South, it will favor the South, or whether it favor the Southwest, doesn't concern them. Because they are in the majority. So when you talk about corruption, it pains me so much. Because we thought that the people that told us that they are bringing change, that they are going to look into what corruption is all about, they are now corruption themselves. Now,
all right, quickly wrap up your thought to say, man.
The paper this morning, we found out that we've not forgotten that Buhari is the Minister for Petroleum. They told us that there are barrels of oil that are taken away, that they've not even given account of. But then it was billions of dollars that was missing in the account of NAPC. Up to today.
Your time is up actually. Who say man? Thank you very much. Hello, good morning to you. We lost that on the SMS line. This one says, good morning, Mike. What we have in Nigeria is a networked kind of corruption. There is no difference of separation between the accused and the accusers. So our anti-corruption is more like washing a dirty cloth with a very dirty water by a dirtier hands. Or Hiago Alexander from Akia Zumbi say, hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning. You're live on radio. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
Hello? Yes, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm Samuel calling from Cross River.
You're welcome, all the way from Cross River State. Good morning to you.
I'm very, very excited to hear this program this morning.
Okay.
You know, the issue of this country is premature exposure. They expose themselves into politics prematurely. I believe what King Solomon said in the Bible. In a country where there is no vision, my people perish. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. How many of these politicians that have the people they are serving in mind? They are not there to serve us. They have their own selfish interests. So the country should go on ahead. They should go ahead and do whatever they like. But there is only one solution that I will tell the whole world. That if they have the mindset of serving people, everything will be over. Corruption will be over. They should have a particular vision, a particular assignment they want to accomplish in this country. That is the only thing that will solve the whole problem. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Michael.
You're welcome.
It's Alvan. I'm calling you from London.
Welcome, Alvan.
Yeah, I really don't have much to say because we are getting tired of the whole drama, you know. But one thing is very, very clear. If you must be in equity, you must maintain a clean hand. Just you continue to ask who is taking who. Now, under this scenario, who's supposed to take who? Now, I am looking at the whole situation as diversionary. Babio wants to use naming people according to him that received contract. We are investigating some serious allegations, not about who awarded that contract. Even the person that awarded the contract should be questioned. You know very well that this thing is not correct. And we are still awarding the contract. And they are telling us they are the major beneficiaries. It's out of point. The former interim management, whatever, enjoy newness. Level a whole lot of allegations. Nobody is yet to clear the allegation. So coming to tell us that we want to know the major amount of money in question. Where is the money? Those projects. So forget about that members of the National Assembly received contracts. Who awarded those contracts? It was those contracts directly awarded to them. How do those people have engineering companies or companies? What are their companies that executed the contract? So in fact, it's very boring.
All right, wrap up with that.
The worst is that
We need to move on.
Nothing will come out. The whole thing will die a natural death. Look at Magu case. Is he not dying? So they should say also all these things and do something so that our economy will improve and people will
right.
about it.
Thank you very much. That's how far we can go this morning. Top of the hour is Abia State COVID-19 update. Many thanks for joining us at the program returns on Wednesday. That's the second edition for the week. Many thanks for the producer, also Samson Eze. Later on today, you can watch this edition, the episode of the program, The Platform, on our YouTube page, www.youtube.com/FlowFMTV. My name is Michael Oni. Stay safe and take responsibility.